Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Noob Gaming Noob Game Programming Documentary, Episode 5. If you watched the last episode, you saw this screen as well. It hasn't changed much, but I have got the enemies to move, though only up so far. They all move up, but at least they move, and they do it one at a time. Let me show you. First, the player takes 2 steps, 1, 2, and then each of the enemies move one after the other. And yeah, that's what I've made since last time. So, let me show you how this works. First of all, I needed to add this variable bar player has turn, and then we have a big if statement that goes all the way down to here, and that's the player's turn. So if var player has turn is true, then we'll do this here instead. And then we have the AI turn here. So that's just comment, but that's where it starts. And it says if not var player has turn, then this is the AI turn. And every time the AI turn starts, I want to make a man count of, because I expect the player to be killing enemies off. So we need to make sure that we have the correct, that we have a man count of the enemies still standing. And maybe there's a better way to do this, but the way I figured out how to do it was to make a variable called enemy count, and every time the player turn ended, I'll put this variable to 0. Then it will of course be run in the start, and then it will put itself, after they just run once, it will put itself to 1, so it wouldn't be run again in the next what do you call it, the next cycle of the game. So it takes the instant number of the object enemy, and in my game here so far that will be 4. Puts 4 into this variable var enemy is in room. Then I make a for loop, and in that for loop I make an array called enemy, and I use the instance find object enemy, and that stores the enemy IDs in this array. All the enemy IDs, there are like 1,036, 1,037, 1,038, and they will be stored in this array of variables, array of integers. Right. So after we've done that, we put the enemy count for 1, so we won't count them again next time we cycle through this. It'll skip this part of the AI turn. We put the var current enemy for 0. That's a variable that tells which enemy in the array has its turn. Well, technically it's just a variable here, but we'll see. And we put the var enemies all done for 0. That means their turn is just started, so they're not done, because otherwise that variable might still be 1 from last time it was the enemy turn. So it had to be set for 0 sometime, because I want to test when they're all done, then the AI turn ends and becomes the player turn again. That should also only be run once every time it becomes the AI turn. So we enter the if statement here. So that's what only gets run once, and then we go into the this is basically what the enemy does so far. We take the array of enemies and we put in the current enemy number, and we take that instance's y coordinate, subtract 2, and that basically makes it move. That makes it move 2 pixels up. And then we put the var steps to go. That's really, I recycled or reused that variable from the player, because when the player ends his movement, the var steps to go will be 0. So here I just start adding to it, and if it becomes 16, then we'll add 1 to var current enemy. We switch 1 position in the array, and we put the steps to go to 0, so we can start over moving. And yeah, then we test. Let's see if the var current enemy is equal to the var enemies in the room. So after all this has been done, if this was the last enemy in the room, then we get the all done. So, and if we're all done, then we reset the player's moved variable, so the player is no longer registered, has taken any steps. We increase the turn number. That's just the game turn that's being counted there. After the enemies have all moved, we go to turn 2, and after turn 2 and all the enemies have moved, then we go to turn 3. It's just a counter, and then we put player has turn back, so we won't run this part of the program anymore. We'll go up and running this part again. Yeah, and it took me a while to figure out, but I got it there in the end. So now I can just start putting in some logic here. This line will be the enemies making a choice of which direction to move, and if they are melee enemies, they'll be moving toward the player. If they are ranged enemies, they'll be moving to their maximum firing range, and they should try to move around obstacles if there are any between them and the player. All that stuff will go here, where there's just this one line making them go north so far. Yeah, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed it, learned something, found it interesting, and I will see you next time.